Folktales. This is Miss Brianne, and welcome to our latest summer program. I can't believe summer is almost over soon. But anyway, I hope you had a great summer. I'm enjoying my summer so far, and I'll enjoy what's left of it. But as you're well aware, we are still currently in our summer reading program, and we are wrapping up pretty soon. But as of right now, we're still in our summer reading program, and the theme for this year was Tales with Tales. And it's usually focusing on fairy tales as well as books with animals as the main characters. Now for today's activity, we're going to do a little break with the craft for the program, but we are going to read a folk tale involving animals, which we'll be reading shortly. And today's activity, you've heard of squishy toys, right? Well, for today's activity, you're going to be creating your own squishy toys. But like I said, before we do that, I am going to be reading a folk tale for you. And it involves cake, and it involves animals, and it is a folk tale. Now, this is a classic translation from somebody else, from a very old folk tale, and you've probably heard it. It is called The Red Hen. It's taken from the classic folk tale The Little Red Hen. So, we ready to begin? And this is their take on The Little Red Hen. So, let's take a look. Alright, so we got The Red Hen. The authors and illustrators are Rebecca and Ed Emberley. Now the author is the person who writes the words to the story, and the illustrator is the person who draws the pictures in the story. Rebecca and Ed Emberley did both of those. And then we have the publisher, which is that company that puts the book all together and sends it to the bookstores to sell. And the publisher here, it is a Neal Porter Book, which is published by Roaring Brook Press, which is a division of Holtzbrinck Publishing Holdings Limited Partnership. Alright, with that being said, are we ready to begin? Okay, here we go. One beautiful morning, the Red Hen found a wonderful recipe for a cake. This would be a treat for all of us, she thought. So, boys and girls, hold on a minute. Okay. How many of you see a simple recipe for a cake and decide to try it out for your friends and family? Doesn't it sound like fun? And isn't it great to do something different? So what do you think? Do you think the Little Red Hen or the Red Hen will be able to bake this cake? Well, let's find out. The cake should be baked. Oh, hold on a minute. This cake should be baked. Who will help me gather the ingredients? She asked. Meow. Not I, said the cat. Squeak, squeak. Not I, said the rat. Ribbit, said the frog. So she asked her friends for help, but they don't want to help her. What will happen? Well, let's see. All right, I shall do it myself then. I shall do it myself. And she did. So she found all the ingredients and gathered them up herself. Do you think her friends will help her throughout along the way? Well, let's find out. Now I have everything we need. Who will help me mix the cake? she asked. That's a little simpler to gather in the ingredients, right, boys and girls? Well, let's see what happens. Meow, not I, said the cat. Squeak, not I, said the rat. Ribbit, said the frog. I'm just curious, do you think the frog wants to help or not? What do you think? What's your opinion, boys and girls? Well, let's see what happens. All right, then, I shall do it myself. And she did. So she put all the ingredients in the bowl as per the recipe and mixed them together. The others should be a little bit simpler, right, boys and girls? Do you think the animals will help? Well, let's see. Now the cake is all mixed. Who will help me bake the cake, she asked. That's simple enough, right, boys and girls? You just throw it in the oven and wait till it's done. Meow, not I, said the cat. Squeak, squeak, not I, said the rat. Ribbit, said the frog. Uh-oh. All right then, I shall do it myself. And she did. So she took the cake and baked it in the oven and took it out when it was done. Let's see what else happens. The cake came out of the oven golden and sweet. Who will help me ice the cake? She asked. That sounds like a fun job, putting icing on the cake. Plus you get a little extra special treat when you lick the spoon when you're done. Well, do you think her friends will help her this time? Well, let's see. Not I, said the cat. Squeak, not I, said the rat. Ribbit, said the frog. I don't know about that frog. Maybe he wants to help out. I don't know. What do you think, boys and girls? It seems like the hen understands him, but I don't know. What do you think's going to happen? Well, let's see. All right then, she sighed. I will do it myself. And she did. So she put icing on the cake. Let's see what else happens. Now the cake is iced. Who will help me decorate the cake? She asked. And that actually sounds like fun, decorating the cake. You can put whatever you want on it. That'd probably be a fun job to help with, right, boys and girls? But do you think they will? Well, let's see. Now the cake is iced. Who will help me decorate the cake? She asked. She pretty much knew what was coming. Meow, not I, said the cat. Squeak, not I, said the rat. Ribbit, said the frog. All right then, I shall do it myself. And she did. So now the cake's all nice and decorated. What do you think is going to happen next, boys and girls? Well, let's find out. This cake looks splendid, said the Red Hen. Who will help me eat the cake? What, do you think you're going to help her eat it this time? Well, let's see. Meow, I will, said the cat. Squeak, I will, said the rat. Bribbit, bribbit, said the frog. What do you think? Do you think they're going to eat the cake? Well, let's see. Said the Red Hen. I think I will eat it myself. And she did. So she didn't share the cake with the friends. What do you think? Do you think they got what was coming to them, her friends? The cat, the rat, and the frog? Yeah, probably. So, with that being said, boys and girls, what is the lesson in today's folktale? Because a folktale always has a lesson. So what was the lesson in today's folktale? I'll give you a minute or two to think about it. Well, the lesson is, if you don't do the work, you don't get the reward at the end. And I think the cat, the rat, and the frog all learned that lesson that day. Now, this was a great adaptation of a folktale, in the fact that it involves cake and not bread, like most of the classic folktale has. And one of the bonuses of this book is it comes with a recipe for baking the cake that was using a little red hen. How about that? So you can try, with the help of a grown-up, of course, to bake this cake. Does that sound like fun? Well, anyway, this is a great book, and we have many different adaptations of The Little Red Hen. And also on Tumble Books, there's a fun Southwestern adaptation called Burro's Tortillas, so I recommend you check out that audiobook as well. But anyway, this was a great story. I certainly hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed reading it to you. But what do you say? Is it time? Do you think it's time for our activity? All right, so let's start our activity. I'm just going to zoom this camera in. Give me 2 seconds. There we go. All right, so today we are going to be making your very own DIY squishy cake toys. And you know those squishy toys, and some of you may have gotten some in our store for the summer reading program. Well, this one you can make your own. And I'll go over step by step on how to make it, and when you're done, you should have something kind of like this. And it's cool, you can squish it, and it bounces right back. How fun is that, boys and girls? Would you like to make one of these yourself? Well, for this, when you register for the program, you got a craft kit which contained the following elements. You got a makeup sponge that was already cut into a triangle, a little bit of white acrylic paint, a little bit of yellow acrylic paint. You also got a little bit of brown acrylic paint, a little bit of blue acrylic paint, and a little bit of red acrylic paint, and also a little bit of green acrylic paint. The brown paint and the green paint are not shown here. And you also got some Q-tips. I strongly recommend that you have a holder, such as a paper plate for the paint, though the paint will come in containers. Also paper towels. But you should need to have a paper plate to hold your squishy toy on. And I strongly recommend, boys and girls, you fully and carefully cover your workstation in paper or plastic. And I cannot emphasize this enough. You are using acrylic paint. And acrylic paint is hard to clean up once it gets on things. So, please, please, please cover your workstations, boys and girls. With that being said, are we ready to begin? Alright, so here's your holder, and take out your makeup sponge. So, what we're going to do is we're going to choose our colors. We're going to talk about coloring the inside of the cake, for the sides and the back of the cake. Now, there's a lot of different flavors you can choose from. I think what I am going to do, I'm going to do something a little weird. I think I'm going to do a strawberry shortcake type thing with whipped cream icing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour some yellow, some white, oops, I poured too much, and some red. So what I'm going to do for the center of each side and then the back, I'm going to paint a white stripe. So I'm going to take my Q-tip, dip it in the white acrylic paint, and then paint a white stripe onto the center of one of the cake sides. Like so. There we go. Now I'm going to do the back. I'm going to paint the back a white stripe on the back. And this represents the whipped cream filling. Now you can paint this however you want. I wanted to do a strawberry shortcake type thing. For the last one, I did a white vanilla cake with yellow icing and some cherries on top. Or we can call them strawberries. There we go. So we just painted all that. Now technically what I would usually do is I would wait about an hour or two for the paint to dry. But for demonstration purposes, I'm not going to do that. So I painted the center. Now I'm going to paint the rest of the sides and the back. So I'm going to make that a yellow vanilla cake. So I'm going to take my Q-tip, my other Q-tip, dip it in the yellow paint, and then I'm going to start painting the sides, the rest of the sides. Like so. And by the way, boys and girls, do you know what the difference is between a white vanilla cake and a yellow vanilla cake? Well, I'll tell you. Yellow vanilla cake contains egg yolks. White vanilla cake does not contain any egg yolks. So it's the egg yolks that color the cake. So there's one side done. Now let's do the back. And you can paint the bottom if you want, boys and girls. I'm not going to do that here, but I would wait a while for the rest of it to dry. Then we're going to paint the other side. Now, boys and girls, the reason why I'm using Q-tips instead of paintbrushes is that once Q-tips are disposable, like I said, it's hard to wash off acrylic paint when it gets on stuff, so it's kind of hard to wash it from the paintbrushes. And also, the Q-tip covers more of the sponge. But if you want very fine details like sprinkles, I recommend you do use a paintbrush. But alright, so now that I painted all the cake parts on all the sides, what I'm going to do is put strawberries where the white is. So, let's see how we can do it. Do a little dot here, a dot here, a dot here, and a dot here. Now for the back, dot here, and a dot here. Dip it in the paint a little more. Then the other side, a dot here, a dot here, dot here, a dot here, and a dot here. So I put the strawberry, so the center has whipped cream filling with strawberries in it. How cool is that? Now, I'm going to paint the top. I'm going to show you this as best I can. So we're going to take our top and we're going to cover all of that in white. That represents the whipped cream ice, the whipped cream topping on the cake. Now if you really want to get creative with the icing, boys and girls, I recommend putting in 1 part glue to 2 parts shaving cream to make a puffy paint. And you can use that to put icing on your cake. So like 1 cup of, 2 cups, like 1 cup of shaving cream and a half a cup of glue. Oops. That still works. And this is why I recommend waiting for everything else to dry, so you don't wind up what happened like I did. But it still looks intact. In fact, the strawberries look a little more like strawberries, so it worked out. So there, I put it on the top, and then finally, I'm going to put some red dots to represent strawberries. There we go. And that is my DIY squishy toy in the form of a slice of strawberry shortcake. But you don't have to make it like I made it. You can make your slice of cake however you want. It is your squishy toy after all. And just to let you know, after you're done, I would wait a day, 24 hours, for the paint to completely dry before playing with it. But in any event, I hope you enjoyed this activity. I certainly enjoy making this activity with you. And please feel free to check out the rest of our summer programs that myself and the other children's librarians here have to offer at the Westhampton Free Library. Oh, and before I wrap up, I forgot to tell you, this DIY squishy cake is a project idea that I got from the website Crafts Unleashed. So if you're interested in this activity as well as other similar activities, please click on the web link in the video description. But in any event, I hope you had fun, and this is Miss Brianne saying take good care of yourselves, have a great day, and I'll see you soon.